Hello? Is this working? Why are we so yellow?
Lighting.
Yeah, I can fix. This feels very yellow. Oh yeah, there we go. Less yellow now. Looks like you got beat up. All right, let me put it on the Discord. All right. And we're live. Oh, Peter's in. Nice. I wonder if there's a way to know. Oh, never mind. There's no one in here. Let's see. Can anyone see this? Oh yeah, happening now. Happening now. Just in case. There we go. Looking a little tired. Where have you been traveling to? All these things? Miami, LA, SF.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah, a little jet lag for sure.
A little
Pow.
Warriors fan. Yo, nice.
I know Warrior fan.
Oh, it has a Warriors logo here. Joseph's here. Nice. Okay, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe. Good to see you again.
Joe's everywhere.
It's everywhere, man. Everywhere we look, it's Joe. All right. You guys feeling a little tired, but he's powering through to hang out with everybody. And Peter's here too. Yukai looks tired. Yes. All right, Peter's here, Joe's here, Pow's here. I feel good. Should we? Oh, look, we can create polls. Look at this. This is our first YouTube live, so we're gonna explore it. We can create an emoji. What's this?
It's like, how tired does Yukai look?
Yeah. What does that do? Oh, it's just an emoji. All right. I guess we could have done topics and stuff. Topics. This edit. All right, cool. What should we talk about?
What should we talk about?
Well, the goal of this was to talk about Miami. Talk a little bit about Miami, how it went, why we're excited, what's next on the roadmap. I think we can talk about that.
No.
All right. I guess I'll start. Hey, neighbors. Good to see you. We're over here in San Francisco. Yukai just came in yesterday. I think he got in at 1 a.m. Then he spent the entire night working on an investor pitch deck. I don't think he slept. It's 9 o'clock here in San Francisco.
9 p.m.
And yeah, he spent the whole night, last night, creating the investor deck. This morning, we met with some investors. In the afternoon, we met with investors. Then in the afternoon, I took a podcast. Then we took a call with Joe. Then one of Yukai's friends came over. We hung out. My two daughters had a movie night. And then Yukai took a nap. And I woke him up. Then I woke him up for this. But yeah, feeling overall really good. Let's start off by talking about Miami and how it went. I'll give my first impressions. So first and foremost, I was extremely happy to meet Joe in person, Javi in person. It was just really great to have everyone there, and we can spend time together, work together, promote Metablox together. And it was good. It was a nice practice in pitching and talking to people that have never, have no idea what Metablox is, and getting the reactions. I mean, countless people came up to Yukai afterwards, after his talk on Octalysis and gamification and NFTs, and they were talking about how, wow, this is the most important, or this is the best NFT project I've heard of in this entire conference. And stuff like that is just such a good moral boost for everyone. We just feel really good and happy and blessed and humbled to be a part of this with you. What stood out for you in the Miami conference?
Yeah, just the amount of enthusiasm. Like we were saying that, hey, it doesn't matter how Metablox ends up being, like, at least we know the process. We're being loved by people.
Yeah.
People like it. They think it's a great project. They want to be more involved, and yeah, I think Miami is one of the, I don't really remember even before. Miami is like the most forward thinking city with cryptocurrency and blockchain. And their mayor is like showing up all these events,
Mm.
and they're approving a lot of things with Bitcoin. So they're very forward thinking, and I think they have a good community. I think Metablox is lucky to be able to showcase that right before we mint.
Mm. Let's talk about that. So after the excitement there, we quickly went from, I think when we launched 3-4% in Miami after you guys talk. Now we are currently at 31% in Miami reserved. All tier 4 and all tier 5 are fully reserved now. So now we're full throttle going into the minting phase. And the minting phase is currently planned for the 4th week of April. We're going to have a lot of tutorials for how to put it on your wallet. I put a sneak peek of what the NFT looks like on the wallet on the general chat in Discord. So if you have a chance, definitely check that one out. But thought it'd be a really good chance to talk about the game dynamics again with minting and why it's important to mint early. So first and foremost, the reservation holders are going to get an email letting you know that minting is now available, and you will have a 48-hour period to mint the blocks. During those 48 hours, we will not let anybody else have access to that blocks, and you'll be able to mint it for the phase 1 price. After the 48 hours, if you do not mint, we'll open it up to anybody who is in the reservation. In the wait list. In the wait list, anybody who's in the wait list, and they will have 24 hours to reserve. After that, we will then look at what phase we're in. So let's say if 10% of the blocks are reserved, we'll be in phase 2. There will be a 24-hour grace period where you can purchase a blocks in phase 1 price, and after those 24 hours, you will have to purchase it at the phase 2 price. So let's say you bought a tier 5 blocks for $500. After that 24-hour grace period, entering phase 2, that tier 5 blocks will now be worth $750. Now, let's say we get into phase 3 or phase 4. Each phase will have a 24-hour grace period where anybody can go in and purchase it at that current phased price.
Yep. So users don't have to worry that they're in the ordering and then boom, like when they finish ordering, it suddenly went up by 50%. It will be a noticeable feedback mechanic that will say, hey, phase 1 is over, and then phase 2 will start in this many hours, and mint price will go up by 50%.
Yep, absolutely. So super excited to get to minting. Right now we are on track. It's still a little buggy. I will be asking for your help next week. We need people to help with the minting of the blocks. So if you want to help out, please reach out to me on the Discord, and we'll set you up with an allow list to go through the minting process to see if you can help us iron out any of those bugs that we may find. Nice. Yeah, I think what else? I want to talk about memories, but if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask them. We'll probably go on for at least another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I do want to make sure Yukai get some sleep.
Yeah. Closing my eyes feels really good right now. It's like once you close, you don't want to anymore.
I wanted to talk a little bit about memories and where we want to head, what we want to do on the memory side. Right now, it is just an image and text. But going to Miami, being there with Yukai, Joe, and Javi, and the other members of Team Metablox, we really found that a memory really happens over the course of over a day, not just at a specific location, multiple locations. It could be spanned several days, and that memory somehow should be linked. So even if that image, that memory is rooted to a blocks, it should be connected to another blocks where the memory continued and happened. So we're thinking about what that user experience is going to look like in order to be able to do that. Second is, how do we bring in other people into your memory? So for example, if I'm writing a memory and I want Yukai to add to it, or Joe to add to it, Javi to add to it, I think there should be a way to invite your friends and your family to be able to add emotion and color to that memory. So that will be a possible way for us to grow virally as well. And then third, an idea that I talked to Yukai about today was about using how can we evoke more emotion in a memory? So the idea was about having an image and having a narration or a voiceover talking over it. So I feel text, of course, is great. Everyone does read, I think, to a certain extent, but at least everyone's on Twitter reading those short tweets. But even more so, I think if you're looking at an image and you're hearing the narration of the person describe why the engagement was important, or the birth of the baby was important, or why this location was important, I think it does add more emotion to it. And that's what we were talking about today. Anything you want to add there?
Not on that topic. I think you covered the basis.
Covered all the bases. So if you have any ideas of how we want to evolve memories and how we can evoke more emotion and make you feel like you're more a part of it, please let us know. We're very open to hearing all of that.
Speaking of which, why are
Yeah.
there some memories like on the platform already?
Oh
What's
yeah.
going on?
Oh yeah. Well, that's a good question. So right now we've opened the memories to the allow list, and you now see on the memories channel every time a memory is added to the blocks, we will feed that in there so that you can see it. Now, something important here: all of these memories are just being added there, and there's really no limit, right? No one needs to pay meta rent. So these are there right now on the database until we finish minting and until we integrate with Arweave so that we can now add these memories to the blockchain. Once that happens, the blocks owner is able to approve or reject these memories. So here's the interplay here. The user who added it will be able to keep those memories in their profile more privately, and then choose to add them to the blockchain. But the blocks owner will, for the lucky ones or the ones who have these memories, they're basically starting off with a head start because these memories already exist. And as soon as we've integrated with Arweave, this will come after minting. You'll be able to then approve it, and now it'll be routed to your blocks. It'll cost meta rent. It will cost a gas fee, right? Minimal because we're on Polygon. And there's also only a limited amount of memories that you can add. And level, do you recall level 1 how many you get?
I think you get around. I forgot.
One?
Like
Like, is it one? Yeah, it's very few.
Single digits for sure.
Yeah, single digits. So just know if you're seeing all these memories, you're like, wait, I thought I was going to be a blocks owner. I thought I was going to be a memory curator. I thought we were going to add this to the blockchain. Absolutely, that's all going to come. So all of this is phased essentially. We're trying to launch as fast as possible, as meaningfully as possible, to make sure that we have these features. You're using them. We're learning about how to do it, and then right, the technology takes a while to build. So we're in a sense almost playing catch up. We're giving you the taste, right, of what's to come, and then it'll be added to the blockchain through Arweave, and we'll make it work. Hey,
It says we're partying too hard. This is jet lag, not necessarily the results of partying.
I know, right? To party again. No, to be honest though, in Miami, we did get a chance to spend last Saturday night. We went out to a few places, and
yeah, they'll see the memories at one point.
They'll see the memories. Yeah, we went to some bars, and of course, afterwards, after going out, having a few drinks, spending time together, we went back to our place, or at the Airbnb, and what did we do?
We wrestled. Two of us.
Look, I still have that.
Yeah, two of us, including Joe, knew Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu quite well.
Yeah.
And so, what are a bunch of guys in a room gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Of course, improve our skills in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I mean, literally, we got home. It was late. We took off our shirts and we just started wrestling. That's the only way to do it.
Yep.
And I have the scars, Joe. Look at this.
Yeah, and I think there's already some influencers who are putting memories on Metablox. So it's pretty cool. If one person, he has a memory in Miami of him holding his newborn son, and he has like around 600,000 followers on Instagram. So pretty strong.
Oh, that's great. So Faye actually asked, how did the influencer marketing work out? So it's been going great. What we've learned is when we explain Metablox to somebody, they absolutely love it. But it can be a challenge to explain to them if you're just trying to convey in a simple text. So that's what we need to do and improve our onboarding, improve that communication, absolutely. But when we sit down and we talk to these influencers, they're super on board. So Natalia was one of the influencers. She spent the day with us on Saturday. She learned about Metablox, and now she's committed to not just add her memories, but also promote it on her Instagram and to also bring on board other influencers. We think this could be a scalable way for us to do better influencer outreach. So she'll be reaching out to some influencers, see if she can bring them on board and get them to add their memories to Metablox. You also talked to somebody. What was their reception when you talked to them at the conference? It was one of the influencers came by. You were able to explain to them how did they?
Yeah, they're usually like, wow, this is so cool, and they want to do more of this. So again, we tried to do the paid influencer campaign, and that's a transaction. But after the transaction, I think at least like more than half of them come back and say, hey, we want to do more with this because we really love the vision of Metablox. It's so awesome, so cool, and then potentially they can monetize a bit better also with it.
Yeah. So I want to address a few things on the chats. So M Tung, I think that's Sashinaro, says mint those wrestling memories on Airbnb. So here's something really interesting. The blocks where we stayed at the Airbnb is still available for reservation. And I just had to create it because it was at the edge of like main Miami and West Miami or something like that. So it hadn't been created. So that blocks, I don't know which number it is. I'm sure Joe knows, has now been created. And if you do have any blocks available, you can reserve it right now. It is a tier 1 blocks and we will be minting our memories to it. So I think it'll, of the tier 1 blocks, it should be valuable or gain.
Legendary tier 1.
Yeah, and we'll be there with our shirts off wrestling. Top shots for influencers. I love the way, Joe, you described that. Peter, if people need MetaRent to add memories onto the blocks, how do people who don't have blocks on Metablox do it? Or they have to own a blocks to earn MetaRent before they add memories? I think that's a very good question. So there's a few things there. One, in order to route the blocks to the memories to the blockchain right now, the current game design is that you do have to spend a MetaRent. So that's first and foremost. Two is, yes, you can gain MetaRent through owning a blocks, but there's actually other ways to gain MetaRent right now in our design. If you participate in Discord every day, you're gaining MetaRent in that way as well. So even if you don't own a blocks, if you participate in the community on Discord, you can earn that MetaRent and then you can route the blocks. So then the third question is, what happens if a user doesn't have MetaRent at all? We haven't addressed that yet, and what are the dynamics there? But we can have the conversation.
And there's also a difference between submitting to the blocks and then also rooting it in the blocks with the memory slots.
That's true,
right? So the owner will always have MetaRent because they own blocks, and they would be able to have MetaRent to root it. But then a lot of people can submit their memories to the blocks.
Yeah. So let's say you submit it. Let's say I don't own a blocks and I submit to yours. If you root it, you'll pay the MetaRent. If I submit it, but let's say you don't want to root it there, but I still want to preserve my memories forever, then it'll be on my profile page. We need to work on that. Do I need to? It'll just be on the Metablox database right there, but then they can pay MetaRent to root it to the blockchain.
In that case, I think it's just the gas fee.
It's just the gas fee.
If you're not connected to the blocks.
Okay, we'll have to think about that. I mean, it could be even more than the gas fee, but just something to think about. So I think it's a great question, Peter. So those things, I think those are great topics to touch on, and then we can improve as we grow from there.
Yeah, one decision making we did, not sure if it's clear for everyone, is that there's a lot of projects like, oh yeah, everything should be on the blockchain, but keep in mind when something's on a blockchain, that means that every change requires gas fee, right? It's like if everything's on the blockchain, then every time you collect MetaRent, that's that you have gas fee. Every time you level up, that's gas fee. So in our design decisions, we decided that only the most important things should be on the blockchain: the NFT itself, the blocks, and then also the memories, and then everything else like the game layer, the MetaRent stuff, the level, all those things, the memory marks. Those are on our servers, so that it's not like you have a gas fee for everything. So, and also when it's on a smart contract, it's also a lot harder to edit. You can't just like, oh, there's a bug, fix the code. You have to do a lot of amendments of the smart contract, blah blah blah. So it's always that balance there. So we didn't really necessarily know that so clearly before it's like, hey, we like the blockchain, so let's put more things on the blockchain. But I think from a implementation standpoint, that started to make more sense.
Yep. Our architecture right now is what's on the blockchain, the blocks, right? The NFT, the memories, and then is the tier on there, or is that soon to be on there? I think we have to check. I know the intention is we'll have it on there, but I think we need to verify.
The first decision is not on there, and I think there was a motion to say let's have it on there. So I'm not sure what the
Okay, yeah, we need
engineers end up doing.
let's check the specs.
Yeah, we'll have to check.
we wrote it down and we have to check it. But yeah, great question, Peter. Okay, Sashinaro, next question. Would you be able to share some of the feedback gathered during the Miami conference? Absolutely. So I think what was amazing, what was absolutely amazing was in a conference where you have Mark Cuban speaking, where you have, we don't know who he is, Grant Cardone. We had no idea. Maybe some of you guys will know. Joe knows who he is. He has a lot of followers on YouTube. Is speaking. All of these people are speaking. Every time we spoke to somebody, they came by our booth and said, "Wow, Yukai, your talk was the most amazing one. I actually learned from it." Because everyone else, it felt like they were just shilling a project or shilling a product. And even though, I mean, I will admit, sometimes it did feel like you were shilling Metablox to a certain extent.
I was like, there are 3 important things that you must have a project, and I'll tell you how Metablox fulfills all the 3 things. So it's like I'm just promoting Metablox, but I'm actually teaching the 3 things in life. Right. And so they did say, wow, we learned a lot. And it's kind of natural because when you're teaching a lesson, you have experience from your own project, you'll share that. But I think other projects, I guess they don't even share the lessons. They just said, buy our thing, it's guaranteed to have a high return or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So people loved it. Like I said, Sashinaro, when we were able to sit down and explain Metablox, it makes sense to people and they feel there's meaning and utility behind this product. Our challenge right now is that there's a lot to explain, not just from MetaRent and Metablox coin and owning the blocks, and the memories are rooted to that blocks, and that's on the blockchain. Tiers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these things only in San Francisco and Miami. There's a lot of things to explain, and we need a better way to simplify and explain this to people, some kind of an onboarding process that would just make it more obvious to people why they should do it.
Yeah, and one really cool thing is there was another speaker, Chris, who learned about our project. And once he learned about it, he understood how it worked. He's like, wow, this is so amazing. And he has his own NFT project that's about to launch too. And he says, wow, this project makes mine seem like not so great. And he's like, yeah, this is, and whenever we meet someone, he's like, yeah, don't talk about my project, talk about his project, Metablox. That's like so open. I'm like, wow, yeah, like obviously, we believe it's a great concept and a great thing on the platform. But to get someone to say that, oh, this is better than my baby, I think it's a strong feed, and so we're staying in touch, and I think it's going to help us too.
That's great. That's awesome. So these are all good questions. If you do have any other questions, please ask them. I do want to keep this light and short so that you can get some rest, some well-deserved rest. I mean, right, like I said in the beginning, Yukai flew all the way from Taiwan straight to Miami, jet lagged, spoke at the conference, back to San Francisco, no sleep, investor meetings, and we're just trying to do the best. It's been since we started in October. What is it? 5 months, 6 months that we've been at this, and it's amazing. I mean, 6 months to already have a product, to have the community, to have dedicated people on this team, and now getting into minting, I think is something to be really, really proud of for all of us, you and all the members here.
And people who ask more about the internal operations, they all say, wow, you're very capital efficient. Like you got to this point with the amount of money you spend, the amount of money you raise. A lot of them surprised because there's a lot of projects who just out of the gate raise a couple $1 million. And then sometimes they still spend 9, 12 months to launch. And then when they launch, they still have less than what we have. So I think people are recognizing the work we put into it. And they like where it's going.
Yeah. And I also want to talk. Oh, hey, Joe. How's it going? Joe Su.
Onibaku.
So, yeah, dude, awesome. I do want to add this one thing. So we've been meeting with investors, and I want to talk about this point because I think is important. We are bootstrapped right now. Now, when we're bootstrapped, it means that Yukai and I are funding it with our own money, and that means that we are very meticulous and very specific in how we're spending our money. And this means that every dollar that we spend has to go further. So most of it, the bulk of it, is going towards engineering. The vast majority. We have spent some on marketing, especially going into the conference. That was kind of expensive, but we wanted to make sure that we capitalized on this opportunity as much as possible. And now you see it, Miami's at about 32% reserved. So I think we did successfully there. Okay, but going back to this investor topic, we've been meeting with investors talking about $2 million, $3 million raises at a 10, $20 million valuation cap. I think if Yukai and I were to spend all of our time fundraising, I think we could get it. But the consequence of that is that less time in the community, less time in the product, less time in engineering, which means that our velocity is slowing down. Two, a big part of why we're able to stick with the mission is because we do have that control. We don't have that pressure to generate revenue right now. Don't get me wrong. We want to generate revenue because with revenue means that we can continue growing and investing in the company. Maybe hire another engineer, hire another designer. But when you have a venture capital firm backing you, they want massive growth now. So it's not about getting the $2 million and seeing how far it can get you, is spending that $2 million as quickly as possible to grow the company and then go into your next round. So the consequence of that is I met with an investor who passed on the deal for Upland. And that person mentioned that right now Upland is trying to figure out what is their next phase of their growth. And they're trying to create like e-commerce stores on each section of Upland, just trying to figure out how they can maximize, not just grow the user base, but then monetize that user base. So what you kind of have been talking about is where is that fine line? Right now we are bootstrapped, we're committed to it. And to be honest, we don't need that VC funding yet, which means that we really position ourselves for a good long-term strategy. If there is an NFT or crypto winter, we are absolutely best positioned to survive it and come out on the next other side of it like a phoenix.
Yeah. We're like having fun draining our own savings.
Yeah.
So we can last a long time.
Yeah. It's okay. Tesla was good to me. Elon, I believe in you. Cool. I think that's it. I do want to make sure that we give Yukai time to rest. But if you do have any more questions, please ask them now, and we will. We're more than happy to talk to you guys. Oh, cool.
And one little thing is, I already got invited to 2 or 3 other events.
Hey,
so
you didn't tell me that.
Some kind of Texas blockchain event.
Hey, visit Giga Texas when you're there.
One in Denmark. I mean, they're not official yet, and then but they all really they're people who organize it. They're like, please come to speak out thing.
Nice.
I just have to do the travel, so. But yeah, to share Metablox, if timing works out, most likely say yes. But I am getting from this one talk spurs many.
You know what we should do? Wherever talk you're going to, we should find our neighbors in that area, and they can come by and help out,
create memories together.
Yeah, create memories too. But definitely help out and.
What I really like is that when we have this product. When we go to a place, actually, we're looking forward to. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go and create memories, we can take photos.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it feels like the photos is more purposeful. It's like every time we're eating, it's like, oh yeah, let's take a photo and let's put this onto Metablox.
Right?
It's
actually super cool.
Yeah, it actually makes this activity that people do regularly more like a game, and it's a lot more fun and meaningful. It's like, oh, we gotta. Like we're just eating, we don't take a photo. That's like a waste, right? Because this could be serious, like firepower to level up a blocks. Yeah. So it actually makes sense, kind of fun, and makes you want to more purposely meet and connect with people who are neighbors of Metablox.
Yeah.
Because the more neighbors in a memory in a blocks, the more interesting that blocks becomes.
Yeah. I like that. We need a way. So we need a verified influencer, verified. Right, verified neighbor. There's a few things that we can add to that to make it much more meaningful. Peter asks, did people in the Miami conference or investors discuss about the first chain Polygon and your launch in Metablox? Polygon is currently on its winter and is forgotten by people. I wasn't aware of that, to be honest, Peter. For us, it's really the utility and functionality of Polygon being built on the Ethereum blockchain. So one, we chose Ethereum because it's been around for a very long time. We feel that it's proven, and unlike Sol or other new projects that are still unproven, we wanted that stability. We also wanted to reduce the gas fees. That's what we're building on top of Polygon. But I wasn't aware of any type of winter. Yukai, were you aware of any winter?
I think there's a winter for a lot of crypto projects. So I don't know what's the spring, but that's the thing. Things are moving so quickly. There is a risk. This is like an overall infrastructure. Like in the past, you'll see that, there's like a generation of products on one infrastructure, like 7 to 10 years. And there's like, another generation, the better one. The crypto world's moving so quickly that it's like, you have a foundational product architecture and you build on it. and then 3 months later there's another shiny one, then 2 months later another shiny one. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever you build on, there's going to be a new one coming soon. But we just have to stake on the ground and say this works with what we're trying to build. We're going to use this as our technology to do things.
Yeah. When we did our research, of course, on Ethereum, we wanted something that's going to last long because the memories become more and more valuable. The older the memory, of course, the more meaningful, but also the older. Imagine memories from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Imagine now rooting a memory, our trip to Miami with Joe and Javi, and seeing that in 20 years, looking back on that, that blocks is going to be more valuable. So it's really a long-term play. While there are many projects right now that are talking about when do we moon right now, this is something that's going to be around for the long term.
Yeah. Joe and Javi might be the legendary Metablox neighbors from the very first few blocks in existence. Yeah.
Joe Su is asking, and NFT NYC, is that part of it?
He's asking when, I think.
Oh, when? Oh, hopefully soon. hopefully very soon. And when it happens, we'll definitely be hitting you up.
Yeah. So obviously, if we're doing another city in the U.S., then probably the two that makes the most sense is New York and Los Angeles. If we are not going international, I think Europe, having London or Paris,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
a lot of places that people tour and visit, right? Joe Graves said that he really liked that event. Joe Graves says that he resonated with Metablox very quickly because he had some good memories in San Francisco, so he knew how to make this the experience that worked for him.
So, yeah. And what we'll be doing soon is we'll be reaching out to our community, our neighborhood, and what we want to do is start scaling to other cities in a more effective way. So right now we're drawing these blocks, and the people who can draw them the best, I believe, are the people in that cities who care about Metablox. So we'll be reaching out soon to all of you to see if you want your city to be available on Metablox. And so you can, and if you want that, you can help us draw those blocks. And as part of that, we are looking to gift you either a tier 5 blocks or something else as part of it. But be on the lookout soon about that announcement and how we want to work together.
Yes, for NFT New York's NYC, I haven't got an invitation. I did hear someone mention about that one, but yeah, if you know anyone from that conference, from any conference, just tell them, hey, you guys got to invite Metablox. We want to see Metablox.
We should tell David to get us on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just as a speaker or something.
Yeah.
Redistricting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sashina was talking about we are going back to the fundamentals of creating real life memories. Yeah. So, okay, we'll end with this one. We're going to keep it short and sweet today. So, what we see in the future is, in the present, what we have is gamification to get somebody out of the real world and into a game. So think of Axie Infinity or any of these other games where they want you to breed, battle, and do all those things in game so that you can level up. And there's also revenue potential there, so you can level up in there. So what we see is in 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, gamification needed to get people out of this metaverse and into the real world. So I think there's a lot of exciting things that we've been describing. Like, for example, I tell the story that I went bungee jumping in Auckland for my honeymoon with my wife. And I would love if I had a metaverse persona to have this badge from Metablox that says I did this bungee jumping. So you have all of this verification that you did these exciting things in the real world, and now you can represent it yourself in the virtual self. Cool. All right.
Yeah. Look forward to our minting in 2 to 3 weeks, end of the month. And make sure you're watching the dates, because if you have a reservation, don't mint it soon. Then it releases to the waitlist people, first come, first serve, and then afterwards to everyone. So I do think some people might even be writing bots to say the moment it becomes open back to the public, like you didn't mint in time, it snatches up immediately. So I think it's good to be diligent on when those things happen.
Yep. All right. Well, it's a pleasure to be speaking with all of you. Sashinaro, Joe, Peter, Joe again, Joe Graves, Pow, all of you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's your weekend, so thank you for taking that time here. The challenge tonight, of course, for any weekend will be to just make those memories. So you guys have a good night or good day, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and we'll We'll see you soon.
See you later.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.